Ever walk by a construction site and think, huh, they make that look kind of easy? Like watching one of those time lapses, bam, another floor.
Yeah, but it's all carefully planned out, right? Logistics, engineering, the whole shebang.
Totally. And today, we're diving into a part most people don't even see, rebar. Those steel rods that make concrete. Well, we're going to unpack how managing that can be a huge pain and how one software is trying to, like, smooth it all out. We've got Ben Plus's website, marketing stuff, even testimonials, ready to dig in.
Let's go. Most people, they don't realize what goes into getting the right rebar to the right spot at the right time.
It's wild. Different sizes, grades, coatings. Then you got to track it all, not waste any, handle deliveries.
And even a small mistake, that can turn into huge delays, blow up the budget. It's got to be right.
And that's where Ben Plus is aiming to come in, yeah. They're saying they're more than just a simple bar bending schedule tool. They want to be the go-to rebar sidekick.
The really cool part to me is how they've designed the software. It mirrors the actual rebar workflow.
All right, I'm sold. Show me this workflow. Let's get into the features. Okay, so say I'm a construction manager. I'm drowning in blueprints, and I need to order like a mountain of rebar. How's Ben Plus helping me out?
Well, instead of messing around with spreadsheets and trying to remember every single rebar shape, Ben Plus has this really clean interface. You basically just pick what you need from a list of ready-made shapes.
Oh, so it's like a catalog of rebar Lego pieces.
Yeah, exactly. It makes ordering so much easier, especially for the standard stuff.
Yeah.
But even if you have something unique, something custom, you can just import it straight from Excel.
That's good to know. I hate when software tries to be one size fits all. But what about mistakes, though? Like, what if I'm in a spreadsheet, put a decimal in the wrong spot, suddenly I've ordered way too much, or worse, not enough rebar?
And that's a great point, because that's where Ben Plus really shines. No more guesswork with the calculations. You put in your order, Ben Plus does its thing, figures out exactly what you need based on what you ordered. No more costly mistakes.
Smart. Okay, order's in. Now, how do we make sure it doesn't just end up a tangled mess in the yard? What about inventory?
So this isn't your average inventory system. Ben Plus isn't just tracking, how many tons of steel you've got lying around. We were talking about the different grades, coatings, all that. Ben Plus tracks all of it.
Wow, that's seriously detailed. Why is that so important, keeping track of every little thing?
It's all about using what you've got, making things efficient,
Yes.
knowing exactly what's in your inventory, even the little pieces left over from other jobs. That's how Ben Plus helps you get the most out of your materials. Let's say you're about to order more rebar, but Ben Plus pops up and says, hold on, you've got enough leftovers of that exact type to cover most of this order. That's saving money and being smarter about waste.
It's like Ben Plus is playing rebar Tetris on expert level. That's got to be music to a project manager's ears, staying on schedule and under budget. But it's not just ordering an inventory, right? What about the actual bending and cutting? How does that work?
Oh, Ben Plus is great for that. Picture a digital calendar where you can drag and drop your production runs, schedule everything out, make changes whenever you need. Like a big whiteboard, but way smarter.
So no more frantic scribbling and hoping everyone can read my handwriting. What about making sure they're cutting the rebar in the best way possible? Seems like you could waste a lot of material if you're not careful.
Yeah, for sure. And again, Ben Plus to the rescue. They've got these algorithms that figure out the most efficient way to cut everything, so you're using every inch of the rebar and keeping that scrap to a minimum.
Sounds like they really thought of everything, every little detail.
And it doesn't stop there. Rebar's cut, bent, bundled, boom. Ben Plus prints out these bundle tags with barcodes. Easy to track them through the whole project, make sure everything ends up exactly where it needs to be on site.
Okay, so we've got the ordering, the inventory, production planning, tracking. And what about the boring stuff? The invoices, delivery notes, all that.
The paperwork, right. Can't forget the paperwork. Ben Plus helps you with that too. Makes it easy to generate all those documents, keeps everything accurate, and makes sure everyone's on the same page when it comes to billing. No more typos, no more lost invoices. It just works.
It's like having a super organized assistant who's always on top of everything.
Exactly. But what really got me, it's how Ben Plus goes beyond those basic features. They're big on transparency and collaboration.
Okay, now I got to hear more. Tell me about that.
So remember we were talking about how hard communication can be on construction projects, making sure everyone's in the loop. Ben Plus has these online portals, Project Monitor, Plant Monitor, even a customer portal. Everyone gets the information they need when they need it.
That's next level collaboration right there. Sounds like Ben Plus has really gone all out to make rebar management, well, not so painful. But there's got to be more to it than just the features, right?
You got it. And that's what we'll get into in the last part of our deep dive.
Okay, so we've seen what Ben Plus can do, and it's a pretty impressive toolkit, I gotta say. But what makes it really tick? What sets it apart from all the other construction software out there?
It's not just one thing. It's more like they get it. They understand what their users actually need, both the features and how it fits into their business.
Okay, I like that, but give me an example. What does that look like in real life?
Well, take their pricing. They could have done the whole one-size-fits-all thing, but they didn't. They've got these different packages, light, standard, prime, something for everyone, different company sizes, different needs.
So a small contractor's not stuck paying for a bunch of stuff they'll never even use.
Exactly. It's about finding the right fit, not just pushing the most expensive option. Yeah. And on top of that, they've got online training, support's easy to get a hold of. They actually want their users to be successful.
That's huge. Especially with software like this, it can get complicated. Having good support can make or break it.
For sure. And speaking of complicated, the people who made Ben Plus, they're not just programmers who've never been on a construction site. It was actually designed by people in the industry. They've lived this stuff.
They've been there, dealt with the same headaches, now they're building the solution. That's got to give them a huge advantage.
Totally. And another thing, I really like how transparent they are. Go to their website, pricing's all right there, no hidden fees, contracts are straightforward.
Refreshing, honestly. You know how some industries are, all about the fine print and gotchas? This is the opposite.
Builds trust, you know?
Yeah.
They're confident in the product, and it shows. Which reminds me, those testimonials we talked about. Reading through those really drove the point home for me.
Yeah, it's one thing to say your software is great, but when your users are the ones raving about it, that's different.
Right. And it's not just the big companies either. We're talking small contractors, independent folks, saying Ben Plus saves them time, saves them money, just makes their lives easier.
It's like that part of a home reno show where they do the big reveal and everyone's blown away. The kind of genuine excitement, you can't fake that.
Nope. And it all comes back to something we were talking about, sustainability. Ben Plus isn't just about making rebar management easier. It's about doing it in a way that's smarter about waste.
Right. Less waste means less stuff ending up in a landfill. Good for business, good for the planet. It's a win-win.
Exactly. It's like a perfect example of how we can use technology to be more sustainable. And that's what I love about deep dives like this, you know? We started with rebar, which, let's face it, doesn't sound that exciting on the surface.
But look where we ended up. Digging into Ben Plus, seeing how it works, why it works. It's a much bigger story about how a whole industry is evolving.
100%. And even though Ben Plus is for construction, I think there's a takeaway here for everyone, no matter what you do.
Okay, you got to tell me, what's the takeaway?
Technology is changing everything fast.
Yeah.
And if we can embrace that, find tools like Ben Plus that help us work smarter and more efficiently, there's so much potential there, not just to get more done, but to do it better, more sustainable, less wasteful.
It's like looking beyond the obvious. A steel bar, yeah, okay, but it can spark this whole conversation about innovation, about the future of how we build things, how we make things.
Exactly. So next time you're doing, well, anything, ask yourself, where's my Ben Plus? What could I be doing smarter? What could be more efficient? You might be surprised what you find.
That is a great question to leave us all with. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the world of Ben Plus. It's been awesome.